Hey, what's up guys? It's Brian here, Brian's Lawn Maintenance. All right, today we're gonna be answering a very popular topic that you guys keep asking me about, and that is the subcontractor agreements that Mr. Mike Bedell put together and made available as a resource also for the lawn care community. We're just hanging in the truck. We're gonna shoot a quick video for you guys. Stay tuned, check it out. It's gonna be a lot of good info. Let's check it out.
Make the ground shake.
All right, guys, what's up? It's Brian here, also hanging with the three amigos, right?
Hey, guys.
You got Mike Bedell, you got Brandon Boudreau, Envision Landscaping Solutions, and Mike also runs his company, Bedell Property Management. So if you guys are new to my channel, you know I'm all about the basics, helping you guys grow a lawn care landscaping business so you guys can go out there and crush it. So if you guys are new, don't forget to hit subscribe and click the like button on the video, right? But a question that overwhelmingly all three of us have been getting asked a lot, we got the little posse here, right, is subcontractor agreements, or how do we all work together? So Mike's got some talking points he wants to run through, some great things that he taught me in the spring. Brandon's gonna give his perspective as well on how it helped him with his business, his first year in business. And then I wanted to just be transparent with you guys as well and show you how it's helped my business as well. So let's go into some talking points. What we're talking about in general, Mike, maybe you can ad-lib in, is the subcontractor agreement. What is it? Where can they get it, and how it helped you with your business, and then why we're all using it now together?
Absolutely. So as my business has grown, I've worked with different other larger landscape companies as just part of the growth of my company, and something that allowed us to do that and was impressed upon me at the start of those relationships was the necessity to set up a subcontractor agreement. That way, going into the beginning of the relationship, the expectations are extraordinarily clear, not only in terms of price, but just all the little X's and O's, all the fine details. There's no, oh, I thought you knew, or I didn't know. It's entered into at the beginning. Both companies sign off on the bottom. So as I met these guys, we all grew as friends and wanted to start integrating as a business relationship. I said, guys, this is real simple. It's great that we want to work together, but it's going to be beneficial to all three of us if we set up subcontractor agreements. So Brian has one with me, I have one with Brian has one with Brandon, vice versa. And yeah, it's some paperwork at the beginning to set up, but it takes the guesswork out of everything.
Well, you also got to fill out a W-9,
yep,
a 1099.
Yep. Well, you're going to get a 1099. You're going to fill out
after the year.
Yep, exactly.
First thing we had to do was fill out W-9s.
Yep. That way they've got your tax information, because you're getting paid as a subcontractor. It's one business entity paying another business entity, and that's where it supersedes just us being good friends and wanting to help each other's businesses grow. It takes the guesswork out of it. We know what those rates are going to be to help each other at different levels.
It's really, I mean, honestly, this was a game changer for my business because, you know, like we'd always trade hours, right? Sometimes we just trade hours because it's a pretty lateral trade, right?
Right.
Yep.
And you and I, we have a different relationship. So like with us, with our cleanups, like we didn't charge like at a set rate. We were just like, hey, like you got to make money, I got to make money. We're just cut ties at this price, and then what we did is like, hey, let's say you work 20 hours with me and I work 30 with you, he would just pay me that 10-hour difference. It was kind of just trading hours, and that's what a lot of guys saw you and I doing, that their question about was just us trading hours and how we did that, and that's exactly how we did it. And we just figured if it was, let's say, 20 bucks an hour, we were each making, and you know, I worked 20 hours with you and you worked 10 hours with me, then you're just giving me that 10-hour difference.
That's where the benefit of what Mike is saying and what Brandon's saying is having agreed upon rates. Because having like friendships where like, dude, I got your back, and that's cool, but like we run real businesses that have real costs.
Yep, everybody's still got to make money.
Yeah, so that way handshakes are cool, but in gentlemen's agreements are what they call it, that's fine. But it's just easier to run businesses with agreed upon rates and agreed upon numbers, and that's where Mike came up with this, you know, just a while back for his business, and it made sense for us. Let me do this. So for you, being your first year in business,
the thing with the subcontractor agreements was, let's say I needed Brian to go mow lawn for me. He's like, hey, I charge 32 bucks lawn. Okay, well I have a subcontractor because I don't do any lawn mowing. Yeah, Nancy, my buddy Brian at Brian's Lawn Maintenance can come through, or Bedell Mike with Bedell Property Management, you know, 32 bucks a cut. I already know what they charge, so I can give her a price on the spot. Okay, great, sounds good. I'll get you in contact with them, okay? Or like, you know, if I'm gone and I need Mike or whoever to go deliver me, you know, 10 yards of mulch. Oh, it's gonna be $45 per delivery.
Because,
or if I need somebody helping me install mulch or put in pavers or trim shrubs, hey, my rate's 35 bucks an hour, so I know I gotta, let's say I got a full day of work and I'm like, okay, it's gonna cost me in labor 35 bucks an hour for Mike or Brian. Okay, it's gonna be $350 for labor that day. Am I renting equipment? Am I renting their equipment, or am I using their equipment? They're all set rates, so I know what to factor in when doing a proposal.
So give them some ideas of typical set rates we have, because we have it all spelled out, and that's what's in the form.
Just basic, like, you know, if it's just like me and my hand tools, let's say it's like 35 bucks an hour
General
for the
labor.
day. Right, yep, per hour.
So then if you want to rent the tractor from
If
Mike,
it's a tractor, we'll say, you know, if it's 100 bucks, 150 bucks, whatever you guys charge, if you still owe on that piece of equipment, you still want to make sure you're making your payments.
Some of the rates are hourly, some of them are by the day.
and everybody's different.
And you can do everything different. If you know a guy with a lot of equipment and you need equipment, hey, what would it cost me to rent your skid steer for the week? Oh, it's going to cost you 500 bucks. Cool. Well, you know, so now when you're going to do that paver install, or you're bidding that paver job, you know, hey, I'm going to be here about a week. It's going to cost me 500 bucks to do this job just with the machine. Now, if I have another guy for a week at 10 hours a day, 35 bucks an hour, it's going to cost me 350 bucks in labor every day for that week. And then you know to factor that into your costs. So you know you're making money, your costs are paid for, and your subcontractor's making money.
And like you were saying, it's
point.
okay to kind of do the hybrid of the both. It's important that you start out and have the paper document in place, because we live in a litigious society, and it's really for your protection as a business owner to have those things set up. And yes, it does make it easier in terms of pricing things out. That's the ongoing benefits of having that agreement in place. And then if you want to get into more of the gentleman's agreement, helping friends out, it's really on you guys. If you want to say, yeah, I said labor was 40 bucks an hour or whatever it is, but hey, we're pals, we're helping each other out, or I know you've been in a tough situation recently, then if you want to deviate and go, you know what, but it's only 20 bucks for the day, or you know what, you just help me out on a project next week and we're good, that's great. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have that agreement in place.
It takes the awkwardness out of it.
Absolutely. There's no guess. It gives you the opportunity to be nice and help someone out, but at the same time, there's no missed handshake. You're not left guessing.
So like a simple example was, I did a landscape job. I didn't shoot any video on it. It's a new commercial account. I didn't want to put it on YouTube. We did like a $2,800 landscape job in like 6 hours. But in that $2,800, I knew what I wanted to make, but then I also knew Mike for the tractor rental. I had my material costs. I had Brandon for labor and his expertise.
I think we had a couple of loads to the dump on that job.
So we had a couple loads of the
so disposal costs.
Disposal costs. I knew Mike's delivery fee, because we have it all itemized in line item. Now you can negotiate back and forth with each other what that is. Like for Mike and I, maybe with our whole $100,000 rig coming down the road for landscaping and leaf cleanup. By the way, it's raining right now. Sorry if there's a little bit of noise. This is what happens. You just make stuff up, right? But
Michigan.
Yeah. So Mike and I, when I bring my rig down the road, it might be $75 an hour for Mike to subcontract me out in the fall for leaf cleanup. So when he's doing a leaf cleanup job for $450, he already has my costs factored into that job cost, so he knows what he's making, what he wants to make, etc. I think I got to go on a little rant here, because a lot of you guys know I always plug affiliate links, and I'm always talking about that. And here's the exact reason why. Let me give you, for instance, and why I tell you that doing YouTube when you have 1,000 subscribers is no big deal. When I went out to, I'm going to use a really relevant example. When I went out to Steel's headquarters, believe it or not, although it was a free trip, and although I got a free backpack blower out of it, I don't even care. The reality is that trip ended up costing me $1,100 to go for free. And when I tell you guys that YouTube takes investment, how is that possible? Well, when I was there for 3 days, I have a Monday through Thursday route. Somebody had to cover Wednesday, somebody had to cover Thursday. Yep. And thank God I had...
The business does not stop.
It does not stop. So I knew, there's so many ways I can take this, but I knew what it was going to cost for these two guys build me out on a Wednesday. And I knew that it was, let's say, $30 an hour for him and $35 for him. It was $75 an hour times 7 hours. I knew whatever, it was going to cost me $450, $500. And now my revenue for the day, thankfully, was like $800-900, so I still kind of made money. But then on the Thursday route, which I ended up getting cut on Saturday because there was a double rainout day, Brandon and Alex Leica bailed me out as well. And Leica and I, really good dude, but we did not have a contractor agreement between us. And when I was thinking it was gonna be $35 an hour, Leica's rig and costs were a lot more than what I had expected.
Yeah, because he had to come from Livonia, and
Totally.
Brandon and I were like 10
5
minutes
minutes
from these accounts. And
So,
but you didn't know, and it wasn't set up ahead of time. And
thankfully, we have a couple bucks. Leica didn't really need it, but it was more awkward after catching up with him when I returned home to say, hey bro, what do I owe you? And he's like, XYZ 500. And I was like, whoa, I thought it'd be 375 or something like that. But that's why you take that awkward, that's how you don't ruin friendships, by the way. So how is the three amigos still friends and buddies? Well, getting a relationship started, business or personal, is easy. Keeping it together takes 25 times more effort. And this right here takes the awkwardness out of any time we do work. So when we split profit on a job, it's whoever's job it is keeps the lion's share, keeps the money, makes the profit. So if it's Brandon's job, he knows I'm there for 10 hours at $35 an hour, it's $350 day rate. Mike's doing that, but he brought the tractor and he's got to dispose one time, so it's you know, $425 or $500. Brandon does a $2,100 landscape job, like I did a $2,800 job. That's still my job. That's still Brandon's job. That's still Mike's profit. So we never like split the profit three ways. It's we have agreed upon rates, and that's how Mike said, you don't make it awkward. You keep it. Gentlemen agreements are good, but you know, official paperwork is even better, just to fall back on, just as in case. So that's why I appreciate Personal Store. When you guys buy equipment defender racks and Cujo shoes, it's not just because I make 5%. I don't even, it's more that if I want to leave and bring you guys the latest and greatest, it costs money. It cost me $1,100 to go to Steel in Baltimore for 3 days. Craftsman. You guys want to see the newest, coolest stuff from Craftsman? That cost me similarly $900. You're like, well, you're doing it for YouTube, and you're making, trust me, the lines don't cross that well yet on YouTube. Maybe one day it will, but I need you guys to partner back and forth to cover just the baseline of my business, to bring you guys this stuff. And I know you guys appreciate it, and I know you guys are thankful, and it's true, and you guys do use the codes, and I appreciate it. But it's not just about Brian's 10, right? Which we always laugh about now. It's about succeeding together. It's a partnership on my channel, and if you appreciate that, you get it, okay? If you don't get it and you just want to whine, I get it, because it sounds needy or greedy. But the reality is that it's a partnership. I mean, how else is this info and content coming back to you guys? So
that's it. And it's that
was my rant.
And you're smart to recognize as a business owner that whether it's in all reality, it's your clients who are paying for someone like Brandon and I to be out there, but it's your missed opportunity cost between those couple trips. That was a couple $1,000 that you likely could have kept for yourself, not outlaid to different subcontractors.
And that's the things, you had the weight lifted off your shoulder those 3 days you're out of town, because you knew two guys you trusted, they were going to do a good, you know, they do good work, they know what they're doing.
At least one of them does.
I was like, okay.
Which guy is it? We're not taking that out of the video.
Okay. But I'm just saying, like, you had the weight lifted off your shoulder for those 3 days out of town, knowing your business is still up and running, your customers are being taken care of, and Mike and I and Alex as well.
Didn't have to think about anything.
How to cut lawns or whatever the job was, and you weren't worried about some $15 an hour guy out there tearing up lawns or throwing a rock through a window or whatever it might be.
I mean, it takes the pressure off when you have good people, number one. But then we also have good agreements, number two. I got to do a plug for the Debt-Free Landscaper. So that's Mike's business, and he's seriously taking his expertise and knowledge and throwing it out there for you guys. Debtfreelandscaper.com. I think Brian's 10 does work on it. So
100%
go figure.
It does.
Which saves you guys 10%. And if you want these agreements and these contracts and everything Mike offers, he is way more formal, way more X's and O's by the book than I am. Again, I'm learning every day, and he's been a huge resource for me. You want to know why Brandon has done so well. He's married a lot of knowledge from Mike, and maybe a little bit of knowledge from me, more Mike, and then hard work, and Brandon succeeded on his own. But Brandon
is all about getting out and doing the work. That's the biggest learning curve, but it's also surrounding yourself with people that, you know, are in the business, experience, that know what they're doing, and they can help you, you know, along your way as well.
Yeah. So
Totally.
subcontractor agreement and a bunch of other contracts
Absolutely.
available on his website.
Yes.
Support him, check him out, support it, and you're not going to get it anywhere else in the lawn care community right now. That's a fact. So it's what I use in my business. A lot of my stuff, my paperwork, my back end, he's helping me polish that up on, because I was just literally throwing mud up against the wall to see what's sick. You can grow a 6-figure business, have no clue what you're doing. I'm telling you. But I want to make sure.
100%.
You're not supposed to agree to that.
But it is true.
But it's true.
You're going to hit a point in your business where anybody who wants to get out there and work really hard, you'll create opportunity for yourself, but you'll plateau with that. The opportunity will take you only so far, and it's at that point, knowing your costs, your professionalism, that's what puts you over that plateau, and that's the beauty of seeing somebody like Brandon. We got to watch him just climb right over that.
That's the biggest part, is knowing your worth. No matter, like I've said in previous videos, if you're pulling up, you know, in a Volkswagen with the wheelbarrow strapped to the top, or you're pulling up in a $100,000, you know, truck and trailer, you know, whether you know your goals, you know what targets you're trying to hit, so you gotta, like everybody does, reverse engineer and figure out what it costs you and what you need to make every day, you know, to hit 100 grand a year, 200 grand a year. And that's how I've set myself up. And that's what's worked best for me.
And that's where those costs that are built into that subcontractor agreement come from. They're not just numbers that sounded good to us.
Right.
They're numbers that we take really seriously, because they're not just fictitious numbers. Brandon needs that hourly rate because as a business owner, he has all these expenses. If Brian goes to an event, that doesn't mean that his liability isn't there of getting the work done, or the liability that comes in there with doing the work. All your overhead costs, they're still existent. So
you got to know your numbers.
That's the thing too, is like, how do you figure out what you should get charged per hour for subcontracting? Is like we're saying, know your numbers. Like, okay, like this year if you're making 25 bucks an hour, okay, well this year it was okay, but now knowing what I know and going into next year, it's like, okay, well now my rate's going up, you know, 5-10 bucks, whatever it might be.
And that's a great point, Brandon, because those agreements, it's really only valid for 1 year. Yeah, you could enter into a multi-year agreement, and they're just going to be different windows. There might be times where you're only going to enter into an agreement with someone for a month or two, and that's the beauty of all the documents at debt-freelandscaper.com. They're really easy to adjust. They're just simple Word documents and Excel documents that allow you to customize, exactly, to whatever your situation is. But to go off your point, those were a 1-year agreement. So coming up in the next month or so here, we're gonna get together, have some lunch, and I fully expect that both of these guys' rates will have gone up, because I know my rates have gone up. My cost of business has not decreased in this economy.
Again, Brandon kicked butt this year because he's smart. He knew what he was doing. But these guys spent all spring and summer together, doing landscape jobs together and subcontracting each other out. I didn't really need too much of that for lawn maintenance, because I run a lawn maintenance business, 90% of that. But the more I picked both of these guys, I learned from Brandon his first year. I learned from Mike for sure, then 10, 11 years in. So you guys know that I'm a student. I'm still learning. I don't have it all figured out. But it's awesome being able to bring resource like this to you guys and to the community. So any final thoughts, parting thoughts? If not, we're wrapping it up.
I think this is hopefully answers everyone's question as to how we accomplish working together. And if you guys have any questions, obviously go ahead, comment below. We're all able to answer, or shoot us a message on Instagram. We love chatting with all you guys.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, over and out. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
See ya.